I know how that goes. And congratulations on your 600-pound deadlift. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't imagine. Because I just did 400 and I was so excited. But 600 is insane. So like, seriously, awesome.
I was sore for a while, so.
Okay.
I
You had all
still
that
remember
adrenaline.
Oh yeah, it was, I busted all these blood vessels when I did it. I didn't even realize I had until the next day when I woke up and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Was it in your face? Was it in your eyes at all?
Mostly like my face and my chest and my neck. I didn't even realize, I mean, obviously I strained, but I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, thank you for taking time, by the way. I know it's late and you just worked all day, so appreciate it.
That's okay.
Can you just start out by telling me, because I know you're mostly a powerlifter, so tell me, like, how did you get started in that and how long have you been doing it?
Well, back in, I'm trying to remember when I started. I was 31 when I met my husband. And I started lifting, not really seriously, but I was 32.
Okay.
And prior to that, I'd lost a lot of weight and I had a lot of muscle atrophy and started having a lot of like back pain and hip, especially in my hips for some reason. And that was the main reason my doctor told me, was because I'd lost it just by dieting. I didn't exercise or anything. So just by lowering my carbs. I do not recommend doing that. I'm paying for it now, but because it was very difficult getting the muscle mass back on. I put on fat too, but anyway, that's the main reason why. Oh yeah, it was very reckless. So a balanced diet is always best. But anyway, that was kind of, I always wanted to do it since I was little. My dad, he was a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I was always around, like, he also coached football, so I was always around like the guys lifting weights and stuff. So I was always exposed to that, but I guess it was the doctor telling me to do it. And then meeting my husband, it was like, okay, I think it's time to do this. So
that's awesome.
We got started.
So was your husband involved in powerlifting when you met him?
Oh yes, he's been lifting since he was like 12. So he's been lifting for a long time. He's very knowledgeable.
So meeting him kind of helped you also get into it then.
Oh yeah, it did. It still took me about 2 years to be convinced that he knew what he was doing. But
yes, that's pretty typical, right?
Well, you always think guys are exaggerating, but he knew what he was doing. So.
Well, that's good. So did he coach you, or did he coach you back then, or?
He did. He more or less. I don't think he thought I was serious about it, which I kind of wasn't at first. I was more or less I was just trying to figure things out. I was also in school full time. So I kind of had other things going on. But I think it was like in August of 2012, like the first time I really deadlift something heavy, and it was like 315. And he was like, oh, wow, that's actually really good. So
that's awesome.
That's kind of what took off, like, hey, we might compete and do something like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So that was 2012. So how old are you now? Because you said that was around 31, 32.
I was 32 then. I'm about to be 37 in April.
Okay. So about 5 or 6 years? Damn, girl.
It has been a long time.
You made some serious gains. That's awesome.
It has been a long time.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I have like several questions. A lot of them are like in categories. Okay. So I'm going to go through some of them just to kind of get us rolling. I have them on my computer. Let me figure out where I put them. You've already answered some of them, and I'm very like intrigued to hear that you've been around weightlifting or strength training your whole life. That's pretty cool. I lost a lot of weight too, so I can kind of relate to that. And I lost it kind of the wrong way also. And so you look back and you're like, God damn it! Like I would be so much stronger if I wouldn't have done that to my body. But you have to find your way. Okay, so so I know you're getting into strongman a little bit. Would you say that powerlifting is still your strength sport of choice, or do you feel yourself more compelled towards strongman lately?
Well, I think strongman's more fun. It seems to be less stressful. I recover from it better, but I know that powerlifting gives me that strength foundation. So I think they really go well together. I don't think, even if I quit competing in powerlifting, I would still do it.
Right.
I would still train that way.
Sense. It's kind of like your foundation.
But it is. And I mean, I still have a lot of goals, and I think in powerlifting and that it's going to be hard to kind of back away from that until I reach those goals. Yes. But no, I love strongman. It's fun. I love it.
It is. And I love that you post outtakes and you don't take yourself too seriously. I think that's awesome. And by the way, I'm loving your, what is it? I am her photos that you're posting.
Yeah, she is beautiful.
Me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. Thank you for correcting me.
Thank you.
Yes, she is me. Those are awesome and gorgeous, really. So those are so cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so my next question, you're welcome, is where do you train? I know you guys, do you have your own gym?
We actually train at a gym called the Grit House. A lot of people think it's our gym, but it actually belongs to Nathan and Donnell King. Donnell is actually a IFBB pro, and she probably the sweetest person you could ever meet. She's just so sweet. And Nathan, he's also competed in some shows. He coaches her, or I think they've actually gotten help with coaching, more or less, not because he can't coach her, but because, they're married. Sometimes that gets so. Yeah. But they actually own the Grit House. But I mean, we pretty much were welcome there just about any time. So it's our home.
Okay. Cool. And have you followed programs? Like, have you done like the ones that are out there, like 531 or like Cube Method, like those types of things? In the past?
The very first program I ever followed when I was actually getting more serious was 531, because it was pretty easy to follow. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I traveled a lot for the first 2 years we were together. So it was just it was real easy to keep up with. And
right.
If there were, and I loved it. It was easy for me to follow, which is good. But now whenever I would say it was after my first competition, because I kind of decided like abruptly 6 weeks out, hey, I want to just do a meet. And so after that, after he kind of saw what I did, he started playing around with block periodization. And he doesn't have a specific program. He does it, he has phases and does it based off of speed and skill level, work capacity. I mean, like it's not, I don't even know if he could build a template for it. I think he told me he could, but I didn't know. Right. He's so smart.
Your husband?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. So do you to this day still use that? Like the periodization type programming?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Very cool. That makes sense. And it's responsive then. It kind of goes along with where you are and maybe adjust it as you go. Yeah. That's cool.
Exactly. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's necessarily reactive training, but we definitely, we incorporate the 1 to 10 scale a lot, the RPE scale, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That helps me because something may feel like an 8, but it looks like a 5. So I've learned that that's really like a 7. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That confuses me all the time.
Yes.
My coach uses that, and I have to use it to train. And I'm like, she tells me that RPE 8 means you have 2 reps left.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I can use that. Maybe it's still confusing. But
no, that's exactly cool. Yeah.
Is that what you think of?
Yeah, that's exactly how I look at it.
So my next question is kind of weird, and it's, what is the strangest or most unique thing about your training that you cannot live without?
That is weird.
Kind of a weird one. I know. But just something unique that you think you use in training that could be a thing or a routine or a warm-up. I mean, anything that makes it different.
Well, different. I believe it or not, I don't really like Lucky Charms. I don't really like to follow a pattern because I don't want to rely on it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I know this sounds kind of silly. I have a hard time training without like my husband being there or giving me attention or at least being accessible. because I feel sometimes I feel incompetent, but I think a lot of people feel that way. But as far as like having something like a banana, I need a banana.
Okay.
And that's 9 times out of 10, I won't even eat the banana, but knowing that it's there,
that's perfect.
Yeah. So we'll go with that. That's basically
that's hilarious.
I have to have a banana.
No, and I like what you said about your husband too. That makes sense. And it's good to know that even someone like you, sometimes you feel better having him or a coach or
Oh yes, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, my next question is related to diet and macros. Do you count calories, macros? Do you follow anything? What's it like?
Well, I did up until about, I'd say 5 or 6 months ago. I was probably on like probably 70 to 100 grams of fat. And my calories were anywhere from like 2,800 to 3,200. I'm trying to think. My carbs were around 2, and my proteins were around like as much as I could get of 200 as possible. But I was having a lot of stomach issues, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. And
I remember reading that.
And come to find out, we did. I actually went to a GI specialist, and I'm not digesting fats very well. Like my body apparently does not like fats, which they suspect that probably started taking place when I did the low carb.
Yes.
That's why I tell people don't do these things, because it may not have done damage immediately, but eventually, several years down the road, I'm paying for it now. The good thing is it was an easy fix. I just stay away from fats now. But the bad thing is I'm kind of misguided.
Right.
And oddly enough, that it's funny that you mentioned that, because I literally just hired Amit Severe. I don't know if you've heard of it. I'm sure you have. He's actually messaging me now. I know. Well, my husband, I'm looking at I think they're talking to each other, but I discussed with him some of my issues that I was having when we were at Boss to Bosses, and he seemed to really understand what was going on with my body, and I'm still trying to figure out what responds best and whatnot. And so he seemed to be very knowledgeable of my issues. So we decided to give him a try. He's really excited. He's helped out a lot of other people.
Sure.
And he's pretty successful himself. So he also used to be a bodybuilder. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're about to, I have no idea what my macros are going to be.
Okay, it's about to all be changed.
I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, that's good. I just watched part of the Eddie Hall documentary. Have you watched that?
Yes.
So that man eats 10,000 calories a day.
I know. I was like,
I am not eating enough. This is my reason to eat more.
Most people don't. They don't eat enough. I never could eat. That's why it's so funny, because I would not eat enough, and I don't know how people eat that much. It's exhausting. I have no idea.
It's their job. I mean, you have to eat like it's your job.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Essentially.
That's true.
Okay, so you said you were around powerlifting and stuff as a child. Were you athletic as a child?
Yes. When I was, I would say like preteen and younger, I was involved in like softball and stuff. I had very severe asthma. I've always been big, so that kind of helped a little bit. Sure. And then I started on regular like asthma treatments. My asthma improved, and then as I got into high school, I started just basically getting into more and more sports. I played softball, basketball, and ran track. But I grew up in a time where women just didn't do a whole lot of weight training. Not in my town, they didn't. So that really wasn't it wasn't a part of my training. But I got exposed to that with my father, and he coached football, so I still had exposure to it like as a child. But
do you have any siblings?
Oh yes, I'm the middle child of 7.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So yes.
So I was curious if you had brothers and if he had them playing.
My brother Zach, he actually, my family, the 3 oldest siblings have one father. Then there's my father, the football coach. And then my 2 younger siblings have a father.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I worried about it. But my brother, who shares the same father as me, he also participated in track and football. He holds a lot. We both still have the discus records.
Oh, shit. Nice.
So we always thought that was funny, but
yeah.
So we kind of share that athleticism, and my father, he was an All-American football player at the Citadel. So
very cool.
Yeah,
so are they like super proud of you now? Like, do they like watching?
Oh yes, they are. I know. My father's actually a minister, and
cool.
he's trying to actually grow his own organic garden. So yes, they've always been pretty encouraging. So
nice. Okay, so my next question is about just as an athlete in general. It can be about lifting or strength, but what has been your toughest moment? Like injury, or like not getting a lift, or a competition or a rivalry, or your haters?
Well, I think I get overwhelmed when I kind of see I shoot too far forward with my goals, and I think I have not I wouldn't say I have enough experience to know everything, but I have enough experience now to know that progress will come. Right. I just have to trust the process. So I think the hardest part for me is getting overwhelmed and not getting results now. But just since last year, I've really I understand the process more, so I know what steps what they will lead to. So that's something I've kind of overcome, and I'd say now it's kind of balancing. It's kind of balancing like how much of myself to put out there, how much. Like I really don't like to share my goals. I know that seems silly, but I kind of like to.
I get it.
I like to keep them to myself. My husband gets proud of me, and I think just the other day he posted a video, and I had to remind him. I'm like, I don't want anyone to know my weight yet. So I kind of like to keep that to myself, because I with the world, but my goals are mine, and I don't want them to be for anyone else but me. So but I think that's the hardest balance there. It's what, am I oversharing? Do I need to back off a little bit? So but beyond that, even people who don't really like me, I try to be nice to everybody, because I never know what they're going through. I don't know, I just never know. So I just try to be nice to everybody. But I'm not very confrontational when it comes to that. I believe there's enough for everyone to accomplish.
Yeah, that's true.
There's enough for everybody. So
we don't need to add to it. So what feds have you competed in?
I have competed in the SPF, the APC, and the UPA. Yes.
Okay.
Those three.
Awesome. And you've done Relentless?
Yes.
Awesome.
That was what the UPA.
And then, oh, okay. That makes sense. And then as far as, was the Relentless where you did the crown? Was that your first time wearing the crown? That's so awesome.
Yes.
I love it. And then I know you've done USS, because I got to meet you at Nationals for the Strongman side.
That's correct. Yes.
Have you done any NAS Nationals?
Not
comps?
I'm not opposed to like lifting anywhere. Mine's more or less just like
whatever's there.
Yeah, whatever's there. Like I love Relentless. I wouldn't care who hosted that. I'd do that, And,
yeah.
But it's mostly just what I'm used to, what I've been exposed to. And
do you travel a lot, or do you kind of stick to what's around you?
I usually stick to what's around me, just for one. I mean, it's easier.
Yeah, no doubt. It's expensive.
It does get expensive. I'm not like, I don't mind doing bigger meets, but it's not something that I feel like I have to do, I guess you could say. Yeah. I like being involved in bigger meets and like being there and cheering people on. But that mostly it has to do with just, I'd rather do more things and do it locally than less. And
that'll probably
what was your
like, how did you feel doing USS Nationals? I know that was new for you, kind of. And you were,
It
I
was.
remember like reading how you were nervous and just like a whole different thing. So how was that? Like, how did that feel?
It was, I definitely felt like I was putting on a show. I'm kind of glad strongman is set up in a way though that multiple people are doing things.
Yes.
So I didn't feel like it was all just me. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of like stage fright or whatnot,
right.
but I just
less pressure that way.
It is, and like I said, I more or less like I could probably do all my lifts behind a curtain, and as long as judges are there and it counts, I don't care.
Right.
But it was definitely different. I've never been in the audience in the auto, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. I tend to do better under pressure. I don't like it, but I do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And see, I find powerlifting much more stressful.
Yes.
Being the only one on the stage, and it's just so much technicality, and strongman anyway it goes. So that's why I love strongman.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more laid back.
Yes, definitely. And I loved watching you. I will just say, like, every time I got to see you pull or lift or whatever, I was just like, oh my God, did you see that? She just like one motion to that stone that I just failed. Oh my God. So it was good. I was like fangirling a little bit. So I was glad. You are incredible to watch. Okay, let's see. What is your favorite pre-comp meal? Do you have a favorite go-to, like the night before or the morning of a competition?
Believe it or not, I'd probably say, I know this probably sounds typical. Anything with carbs in it. I don't want a whole lot of like protein. Really healthy carbs, beans or well, I mean that's protein, but like rice, chicken or fish, something. Yeah, sweet. Oh, I love sweet potatoes. So I mean anything like that. I just anything I know is going to fuel me. Honestly, you could probably mix it up in a blender. When I'm at that point, I look at food as fuel. I don't even taste it.
Yes, that's good. That's awesome. Okay, so the next set of questions are kind of reflecting on yourself and just thinking of what inspires you the most and things like that. So my next question is, what is your proudest moment so far in either powerlifting or strongman? What has been proudest moment or couple of moments so far? And when, the second part of that is when or if ever do you feel like you've arrived? Are you not there yet?
Well, I would say when I did Relentless, and I think I didn't really tell my Hope Kids family a whole lot. I mean, they knew about me, but I wanted them to know me as a person, not as a lifter.
Right.
And I think once they kind of realized, like, wow, just to see the excitement in their face, and not just because of me, but just everything going on. When my Hope Kid had the opportunity to just be more involved than I think she thought she would be able to, or chalking my hands. I mean, I can't even really pick out a moment there, but like I didn't feel like I was lifting.
That's awesome.
I didn't like I wasn't sore. I wasn't hurting. Like nothing. You just don't really feel anything. I mean, you feel hope, but you don't feel any pain or nothing like that. And
that's awesome.
It's an indescribable feeling, but it's hard to pick out a moment that day.
No,
but,
I get that.
And I would say also probably when I pulled that 600 pounds in strongman. I think mostly because I was probably the only person who didn't think I could do it. I thought my husband was crazy when he told me I was going to attempt that, and I'm like, oh, you are nuts. But when they said, well, you can hitch, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I still don't think I'm going to do it, but okay, I'll try.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I was just kind of surprised at how just everyday people who don't know much about any of this, just thought it was awesome. So, and giving my crown to someone in the crowd, they thought that was nice. So
that's cool.
I didn't think they would be that receptive to it.
Yeah,
they loved it. So
very cool. And do you feel then like you've arrived, or do you think there's more And there's obviously more to come.
It never really feels that way.
Yeah.
And it's not like a dissatisfaction or anything. It's more, I'm always focusing on the work that still needs to be done. The improvement that I still have, I need to do. But and I take a step back and I look at this too, you know, it's powerlifting and strongman, and not that those things aren't wonderful, but when you look at the big picture, they're so insignificant compared to just like how you influence other people, the type of person you are. I mean, to me, those things are more important. I could stop lifting tomorrow, but I'd still want to be a part of helping people. And you know, this way I just kind of get to do both. But I don't think I'll ever feel that way.
No, I get
but
that.
I don't know. It's just weird. But
that's a good answer. I get it. How do you cope with a bad training day? So if you have a really bad training day, you don't hit your lifts, you're frustrated, what do you do next?
I cry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to the last. It was actually my last bench day because since we've changed some things in my squat, trying to lower the bar, and I'm having some mobility issues. Actually, right now I'm really sore, and just trying to. When I tried to bench last time, it was very humbling because I just felt so weak. But at the same time, I'm coming off of a small break too, so my conditioning is not going to be there either. So the pain wasn't as bad as probably just the inability to do what I wanted to do. So I still got the workout done, but we kind of modified things a bit. We got the volume in.
Right.
But when I start having, and I've learned this, when I start having a bad training day, we usually know into the warm-ups, okay, this is not going to happen. We kind of focus on something that's going to get in the necessary work, but something that I know I can do because, and believe it or not, Sam Bird taught me this, that you get to a point where it's not a question of strength, it's a question of confidence. And if you don't believe you can do something, it doesn't matter if you are strong enough to do it, you're not going to do it. Right. So most days I do it to build strength, but then there's some days where you just need it to build confidence. And so we work on things. Like I did the what is it? That 200-pound kind of, thing.
I saw that.
That thing I did. That was just to have fun, just, hey, we've never tried to do this before. Let's see what we can break.
Right. And then you got it up and like strict pressed it. I'm like, oh no, she did that. She just freaking strict pressed 200. 210, not even 200. It's fine.
It was crazy. The pressing part was easy. It was everything else.
I know. You'll get it. It's awesome. I love watching it. It's great. So you're not oversharing, at least to me, but I know how that goes. Okay, the last kind of reflective question is, if you were given the opportunity, which I think you already kind of did this, by the way, so feel free to tell me that you already did it. But if you were given the opportunity to speak to your critics or to your trolls, and you knew that they weren't going to say anything back, what would you say to them?
If I knew they weren't going to say anything back?
Yeah, if you could just put something out there and you knew that they weren't going to have to rebuttal, just kind of what would be your last words for them?
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Hey, y'all, watch this. I mean that.
Yeah.
Anytime I think when all this really started, when it got pretty bad, it was actually with an individual lifter, which I won't name who they are because people grow up and things change. But it was just a blow because this person was really successful. They were very strong, and a lot of people look up to him. So it was it felt unnecessary, I guess you can say. And when I realized that individual was looking at me like as their standard to beat,
right,
it made me like, it didn't make me stop being outgoing. It just made me focus more on my training because I felt like, well, if I'm going to be the standard to beat, then I'm raising that standard. So it does anger me at first. That's my first reaction, but then it all turns back into the training. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna act, but I'm a woman. I do both. So.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So last few questions are non-lifting related because we know you're a person outside of lifting. So what activities or hobbies do you do aside from your sport?
Let's see. Well, we live in Tennessee, and we're pretty close to the Ocoee. My husband and I are we like the outdoors when it's not like freezing or 105 degrees outside. But we enjoy like hiking, but we enjoy going to the mountains and basically just, enjoying. Sorry, there was the fly there. Enjoying the scenery, and so we like to go outdoors. We have a beagle, which he's been at my feet the whole time.
Of course.
He's
What's your beagle's name?
His name is Buddy.
Hi, Buddy.
I've always wanted a beagle.
That's cute.
Say, hey, baby.
I have 2 Yorkies. Yeah. I get that.
Oh,
yeah. They're my babies.
So yes, cool. He's like, why are you doing this? What is wrong? No, but so we got him actually when the very first injury I had, because we didn't know what was wrong for a while, and I thought maybe I just needed to get out, and it was making me really depressed, and so we got him because he forced me to get out, Yeah. So
good.
So yeah, good. We take him out a lot, but I mean a lot of times we just like to drive and get lost. We don't.
Awesome.
When we don't have plans, we just that's one of the things we do. But I like arts and crafts. I think you've seen that.
Yeah, so, that's cool.
But yeah.
And what was your first injury that you mentioned?
It was after not after my first meet, but I did a push-pull, and then the next day I actually moved. Like I moved our house by myself because my husband had to go straight to work. And actually I got 2 lumbar strains. We think it was during moving because that's when the pain got really bad. But I was invited to Raw Unity, so I kept training.
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah.
I didn't want to believe that I was injured, so I thought maybe I was just being a wuss. And I finally broke down and went to a sports medicine doctor because the just regular doctors had no idea what to do. Turned out it was just 2 very severe lumbar strains. I thought I was going to die, but it was actually quite easy to get over once we figured out what was wrong.
It's scary though. Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, once that's when I realized, okay, there is a time for rest. There is a time where you figure out are you injured or are you just sore,
Right.
And so even since I've had the shingles before, and even in my head, once I realized it wasn't an injury, it was just pain, I was able to train through it, painfully, but
yeah.
But yeah,
did you get the shingles after your weight loss, like shortly after that, or
not immediately? It was actually, we think my first occurrence was during the time that I had the back strains, but it wasn't diagnosed because I never had the blisters whenever I would go to the doctor, so they wouldn't diagnose it. But about a year later,
I had that actually. Yeah, they misdiagnosed it because they don't expect it in a young person, I think.
Oh yeah, and I mean when you think about the strain we put on our central nervous system, and the shingles, it resides in the central nervous system. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it happens to people who are active like this. So.
And yeah, you're right. The value of rest, like that is so important in our sport, and people don't talk about that enough. I mean, especially new people when they're just getting started. Like, it's so hard to keep someone that's excited. Like, it's okay. You can rest a couple days a week. Like, you'll be all right. Especially at our age, when you're in the mid-30s, late 30s, like you have to rest. Otherwise, you'll just be laying on the couch. So
I have to have a lot more sleep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know. And then 3 a.m. wake up some days. Okay, so my last 2 questions are about random things. My first one is, what would you like for your legacy to be in like 50 years? People who knew of you, what would you like them to think back and think about when they remember you?
honestly, I would just like them to think, because of Samantha, I did something.
Nice.
And because she was brave enough to do this, I did this. I mean, really, that's it. Yeah. No matter what I do, I mean, obviously, I want it to be positive.
Yeah.
I would hope that whoever comes after me, and I know I hope this is what happens. I want the next generation to be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to stop at our generation. It needs to, we need to evolve, and I think we will, and I hope they do. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think with women specifically, it's like it's just getting started.
I know.
That's kind of how it feels. Isn't it exciting?
It is really it is so exciting. I mean, I kind of wish I started when I was younger, but I don't think I would have been disciplined enough or realized I wouldn't have been as enlightened as I am now. So I probably would have taken it for granted. So now I just lay back and enjoy the moments.
Yeah, that's true. And what would you say to a woman or a young girl who wants to get started in a strength sport? Like, what would your first advice be?
Have fun. Take your time. You have all the time in the world to get better at it. Don't try to rush it, and just have fun. If it makes you happy, then keep on doing it. Even if people are giving you crap about it. But at the end of the day, have fun. If you lose sight of having fun or enjoying it, it's going to feel like work.
Right.
And I mean, yes, you will have goals, and that's always good. But also know that your goals, what you're limited to now is temporary. I mean, I don't really believe in limits, but what your body can do now is temporary. So don't rush it.
That's good.
That progress will come. The knowledge will come.
Nice. That's awesome. And my very last question is the most important. And it's actually from inside the actor studio. And it's, what is your favorite swear word? Do you have one?
Can I say it?
Yes, please do.
Believe it or not, it is fuck.
Okay. I kind of thought that might be it. Do you talk a lot in your training?
Yes. Some people, I do have to be careful. I try to always be respectful, but
of course
I mean, I work in a very customer service related type of profession. So
right.
I've learned to filter myself, but and I try not to type that word out in public just because I know my audience is broad. But
exactly.
If I'm within an intimate group, I let the F-bombs fly.
Yeah. Good to know. That's awesome. Are there any other pieces of information you'd want to share with our group of the bar? Because we'll be putting this on our blog.
Well,
I don't have any more formal questions.
Recently, we, as far as the tiaras go, which is still in the works, but we have decided what we're going to do is try to, the tiaras that I make, which I'm getting better at making them. Once we start, we'll probably do this all year round. Those proceeds, when we start selling those, are probably going to go to Hannah's Care Packages.
Oh, nice.
Who is a huge supporter of Relentless. Mostly because it just has a strong association with Hannah's Care Packages, but they do so much for the Hope Kids and all the families. And so we just feel like that's kind of a way to support Relentless ongoing. And so hopefully we'll be rolling that out soon. I know Becky Wilson, I think she's a chairperson of Hannah's Care Packages. And so she's very busy, but
she's awesome.
I will try to coordinate with her, but hopefully we'll be, so I know a lot of people have asked me about purchasing a tiara or whatnot, but we're going to try to come up with something as far as that goes. But cool. Yeah.
Now, do you have like that information on your website? Will you have
not yet.
Okay, but you will.
I think she's going to make a Facebook page about it and how to purchase it. I know I'm actually talking to a company now. I'm not disclosing it yet just because I never do until it's actually
right.
But it's a clothing company, so hopefully in that direction soon. And
awesome.
I know my sister is also helping us with our Coleman Strong she's my oldest. You've probably seen her post occasionally, but yeah, my siblings, my families are, they're probably my biggest fan. So
that's awesome.
I know she's going to try to find a way to make all of our merchandise more. But that too will probably go toward a good bit of those proceeds will probably go toward Relentless or
that's awesome.
Something of that nature. So.
Nice. So what's next? What's next for you?
Well, right now, we are planning on doing I qualified for this at the USS World.
Oh yeah.
Pro Worlds. But it's the XPC 21 man deadlift salute. It'll be the Arnold on Sunday.
Okay. So the XPC event is at the Arnold.
Correct. Is that the one at the Arnold? And even though I qualified through it or with it through a strongman competition, it will be by powerlifting rules. So if I want to deadlift 600 pounds, I can't hit you this time.
But you got that. So, that's no problem.
So I want to do it clean anyway. So
yep. Because then all your haters can be quiet. Right?
Exactly. I hope to do more, but we'll be satisfied with 6.
Yeah. Now, when is that? The Arnold is
it is March the 5th. So when I will actually be yes. Oh yes. So we got time, and then originally, which we haven't officially announced this yet, which is fine because I've already spoke to everyone who's involved. We were going to go to the Arnold in Australia, but just some things have come up. My husband got promoted, which is great, and he's having a little bit of health issues right now. Nothing serious, but it's just things that we need to manage. So we're going to try to stay in the States for now, and we've already contacted everyone who was involved in everything. So I'm okay with saying that now, but yeah, we're not going to go to that, but we are probably going to go overseas for strongman eventually anyway. Nice. So we just decided to kind of wait that out, but we'll be doing the Pro-Am. I say we because my husband, I don't know, I can't do it without him.
Yeah, you're a team. It's good.
So yeah, we'll be doing the Pro-Am, and then throw in some USS strongman competitions in there, and then Relentless, of course. So it'll be another busy year.
Very cool. Do you think you'll go back to USS Nationals in Detroit?
Well, I asked them if it was required.
Yeah, because
they said it wasn't required.
Okay.
But they may. I know I've been talking with some of the promoters, and they really want to put on like kind of a record breakers. Nice. Just to have, they asked me, what records do you want to break? I'm like, so that's not necessarily an easy task. I'm not saying that with complete humility, because those are some hard records to break there, but I definitely want to take a shot at them. So
awesome.
We may look for some competitions like that to do this year. Sure. And I think they mentioned doing something like as a separate, like a record breakers competition in Detroit. Nice. Alongside the championship. So I may end up just doing that instead. Nice.
So did you officially earn your pro strongwoman or no?
I did. Yes.
You did, because you're a badass.
I still don't ever use that term.
Oh, but you're professional. That's awesome.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's so cool.
Cool. I mean, it is neat. It's kind of neat when you pursue it, and then once you get it, you're just kind of like, well, okay, what's next? Yeah. So I mean, it is awesome. It just it doesn't change that desire to
humble. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have. I've appreciated your time completely. You're amazing. And so I can't wait to see what you do next.
And good job on that 400-pound deadlift. That was awesome.
Thanks. Thank you. All right, girl. I'll see ya.
All right, girl. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.